situation. So, for example, in the first case, the first newspaper, there was somebody who had a missing ear. And that was part of one of the questions that we had to solve at the end of the case. So, whenever we go to a location, I'm going to read off a little text paragraph that explains what the person had said or what happens then at the location.
One thing that we should know is they don't tend to have red herrings.
No, he's gonna get free cards.
They seem to be dwelling on significant detail.
Oh yeah, it's gonna be
yeah. So they're not going to be like, oh, I used to go to the parties and such. No, that's not a lead up. That means it actually has like some usual information. But there might be something
check.
Leads.
Okay, that's two good things.
To get to. It's not the
Two counterblasts open.
That's a chain.
Exactly. Just set them aside.
Now, one more thing is
okay.
Oh!
Alright.
Sorry, this one, the directory. So whenever they give us a name, it'll give us a list of where things are or directories. So look up a person, like, and we have, I mean, they would have like a bunch of Smiths, so we have to figure out which Smith it would be.
Where on the map?
Yeah, so basically,
The rush.
Not just people, but
like an actual directory. Okay. So again, our goal is to figure out who did what.
If only White Wolf, like RPG books, had directories.
That would be awesome. That would be
wow.
awesome.
Like half of them don't have indexes.
That's true.
And there's even one that's like 5 things.
I am ready.
What is the title of this case?
The title of the case is In June 11th, 1988. The Tin Soldier. There we go.
Yay.
Alright, we may begin.
can't stand it.
No, I'm excited because I like reading these things, and then if I get a French guy, I'll Oh, it was
skill.
Alright.
What?
Oh, there's
Eat a giant.
We're at 221 Baker. We're at 221 Baker Street. Widely celebrated of the munitions magnate case, which was our previous case. When we hear a clamor at the street below, following by the ringing of the bells and the sound of 54 balls at the stairs.
34.
It seems as if the moment of triumph is to be short-lived. Come on, Lestrade. Lestrade is a
34
chief of yes. Lestrade timidly peeks in, his face betraying surprise at being recognized.
I just want to know, Steve, so we drew the starting thing when we set up your tub.
I suppose you would tell us that Lestrade rings doorbells in the most distinctive way, and that you would recognize his footsteps anywhere. No, my dear Watson, not at all. But since the trip from the front door to ours was made in seconds, and was accompanied by a warning screech from Mrs. Hudson, it can be presumed she knew that we were calling. Who else would be in such a hurry and gain an immediate entry when Inspector Lestrade with some pressing and professional matters? Besides, well, at the window a few minutes ago, I glimpsed the inspector's carriage turning into Baker Street. Inspector, now that you have regained your breath, how can we be of service to you? Lestrade plops in a chair and gasps out. General Farnsworth Armstead was the 6 surviving Waterloo Tontine ticket holders.
How many cards we got?
So, what's the name?
So the name is General Farnsworth. So the Futurama person. Last name Armstead. Armstead. And he is one of the 6 surviving Waterloo Tontine ticket holders. Tontine. Thank you. Tontine.
Sounds like we all know what a Tontine is.
I have no idea what Tontine is.
It's you bet money in the last person to survive.
It's really sad.
Oh!
Just like
Yeah! No,
It's like
basically,
the army, and you all put in a certain amount of money. So
basically whoever lives. So they all know they're going to die. So what they do is they say, we're all going to die, but let's put our money into one pot so whoever lives through it is rich and lives a good life, but honors our memory at the same time. Alive gets all the money. It was a big thing, especially for wars like Waterloo and the big battles and such, where you were almost guaranteed to die.
Money back here.
Waterloo Tontine asked Watson, elaborate results. In 1815, the Tontine was set up to aid the veterans of the Battle of Waterloo. Well, Wellington's victory over Napoleon. For £1, one bought a ticket in the name of a young villager. Longevity is paramount to winning. The ticket proceeds amount to over £1 million, after which immediately went to veterans for their families for medical and hardship expenses. The remainder went into an account at the Bank of England, where it has been collecting interest all these years. The sole surviving ticket holder will claim the prize.
Skill of
A
digest.
huge ransom, certainly, exclaims Watson. Who are the surviving ticket holders? The oldest is Captain Robert Jurgens at 82.
Hand lotion thing.
Jurgen. Then Anita and Claire Thomas, twins, 80-year-olds each. Yes.
Years.
Yes.
Okay.
And then William Rowland, age 79.
How much is that? 28 crit to Vanguard.
Rowland. William,
So it's 5.
age 79. Peter Dudley, age 77. And General Armstead was the youngest at 74. General Armstead. That man who's just murdered. Peter
This thing has a
Dudley
guard breaking energy, right?
was General Armstead, the guy we're investigating. Yes. The Times is sponsoring some to-do involving the Tongan survivors on the 18th, says Holmes. That's right. A Waterloo anniversary banquet at the Langham Hotel.
21, 31, 41.
Langham Hotel.
You said how much?
20.
Langham Hotel.
Alright.
Why is the name Armstead familiar? Perhaps, Watson, you were thinking of the General's book, Treasures of the Conqueror, says Holmes. He was a noted art collector, I believe. Indeed he was, Mr. Holmes, says Lestrade. He was interested in valuables which at one time belonged to famous military men. The book traced the history of various objects and how the craftsman collected them. Quite a sensation it was, if you know what I mean. At the time of his death, he was working on a revised edition for his publisher, Norgate and Company.
Oh, so this General Armstead is the author.
Yes, he's the author. He's the author of the book, and he was working with his publisher, Norgate and Company, to release a revised edition. So he wrote something wrong, and they had to revise it, of course.
Rise too.
It was to contain an entirely new chapter on a fabulous diamond called the Polar Star. Ooh, gem thief and murder mystery. Love it. Which at one point belonged to Joseph Bonaparte, Napoleon's brother. The bad new information, which had, the general had new information which traced the gem to its present owner. What do you think, Holmes? I think, Inspector, that you should tell us the circumstances of the general's death, says Holmes. Let's see here. It was 10 o'clock this morning. The general's valet and former backer, David Sennett, D.A. Yes. Like a, almost like a bodyguard.
You watched out now. It's a butler, really the thing.
Yeah.
Put in butler.
It's a butler. We'll say butler.
So 10 a.m.
Yeah.
10 a.m. What about Butler?
So his valet and his butler. Yeah, sorry, valet and butler, yes. David Sennett.
28.
So S-E-N-N-E-T. And he admitted a caller to the general's study. The caller was an elderly gentleman with a French accent. Unknown to Sennett. It was all very unusual in the general, and that the general never sees anyone in the morning while he is at work. But the gentleman insisted that if the general read a letter,
24.
he would be the exception to that rule. Yeah, okay.
I can watch.
Oh, that's fine. Yeah. If anything, it's like Mystery Science Theater all over again. So we're investigating a murder.
You can laugh at us.
Yeah. He told Sennett to let the man in. The general, of course, went very pale. Sensing something amiss, Sennett dawdled in the area of the study for the next 15 minutes or so. Suddenly, he heard this distinct sound of sword play. He then tried to enter the study, but found the door was locked. As he attempted to force it, he heard the crash of breaking glass.
Well,
He
congrats,
gave it
by the
up and raced to the kitchen and out the
Two
back
crits,
door
okay.
to enter the study
So
from the
it
yard.
would
The caller had quite vanished by the time he arrived, and the general was leaning against a display of military miniatures.